pact that Pakistan and Saudi Arabia put together has kind of been something in the making, right? So for those of you that don't know, for many years, Saudi Arabia has always had money, but they haven't had like a strong military. And they've relied heavily upon the United States and the petrodollar to keep them safe. Back in the 1970s, Richard Nixon pretty much made this agreement with the royal family saying, look, we will guarantee your guys' security, right? But you guys need to do all your oil transactions on the US dollar. Why? Because if all the other countries that are getting oil have to do their deals in the US dollar when they deal with Saudi Arabia, well, that ensures that there's always a need for US dollars. And this keeps the currency strong and powerful. So as of a couple of, I think last year, the Saudis started to wean off a bit, where I think only about 80% of their transactions are done in the US dollar. And obviously this isn't good for us because, you know, we're the reserve currency and we're propped up with the petrodollar. And what do? We printed like what? Almost 50% of our current dollars in circulation was printed during the COVID era. So that obviously isn't good for us. Way too much dollars flowing out there. And this is why we haven't had to really suffer from the extreme inflation, despite the fact that we have way too much goddamn currency out there. So when Israel attacked Qatar, it red pilled the Saudis, and the Saudis said, okay, we need to look to a Muslim country that also has nuclear capabilities, just like the United States does, so that we can have another guarantor of our security. And that's exactly what they did with Pakistan. Pakistan is a very strong military, but they're weak economically and they don't have money like that. So the Saudis substantiate them financially, and in return, they get protection and training. Like a lot of the Saudi special forces are trained by the Pakistanis. And then the Pakistanis, I don't think they're a part of the nuclear proliferation treaty program. So they've been sanctioned before. And what happened was a couple of years back, this was decades ago, when Pakistan had their nuclear weapons, they wanted to test their nuclear weapons. So when they wanted to test their nuclear weapons, they called Saudi Arabia before they did this, said, look, we got nuclear weapons. We know that if we test them, we're going to get sanctioned. Can you guys hold us down while we're sanctioned? Saudi Arabian government said yes. And they tested their nuclear weapons. Everything was a success. Obviously, as expected, the international community sanctioned them, and they were able to kind of ride it out because the Saudi Arabians gave them financial resources and support and exchange got security. But now it's formalized. Now it's official. They're joined at the hip. If you attack Saudi Arabia, you basically attack Pakistan and vice versa. And what I see coming with this is Israel's reckless foreign policy has driven Muslim countries to rely more upon one another, because now it's obvious that the United States is not going to stand up against the Israelis.